Hello, everybody. Welcome to another. Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Close call. Two bear paws. Wow.
What?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Arkham Horror List video. Today, inspired by my cat Russell, who's on the floor right now. We're going to be ranking all of the creatures in Arkham Horror. When I say all of the creatures, there's a little bit of an asterisk there because we're not including the two investigator signatures, which are Duke and Foolishness. And we're also not ranking individually Miss Doyle's other versions. It's just like the entire...
No, that's going to be like a whole different ranking video where we ranked bonded cards.
Oh yeah, that's an idea.
But
there we
like
go.
Down the road. That's down the road.
We just got a new video for 2025. Let's go. All right, well, let's start with the number 10 here, which is the Ravenous Myconid level 0. This is a 2-cost unidentified card. Soaks for 1 and 1, limit 1 per deck as an action. Search your bonded cards for Uncanny Growth and add it to your hand. Uncanny Growth lets you investigate as an event, and it's the amount you succeed by, you put that many growth on the Myconid. And as an action, if it has 3 or more growth on it, you can move each growth to your resource pool as resources, record in your campaign log that you've classified a new species, and then you can upgrade it into the future. This card's here because, one, the AI upscaling is really funny to me. And 2, it's kind of just, it doesn't actually, like, do anything, right? It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you spend actions for things that you don't need to spend actions on.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
And then
it does soak for 1 and 1. That's the thing.
It does so. I mean, actually, like, yeah, if you look at the level 0 ones, if it actually, like, can make you not die, that's got to be a winning
this
thing.
does way more than most of the other unidentified cards.
It's true. Yeah. But it's still just like you're gonna, if this is in your level 0 deck, you're probably looking at upgrading into the other versions as soon as you can. So that's why it's number 10. So let's get on to the kind of the more interesting ones, which is Sled Dog. 3 cost, soaks for 2 and 2. You may include up to 4 copies of Sled Dog in your deck, which I think is really cool. I love stuff like that in card games where there's like a limited, like deck limitations, like, you know, this card's 2. Going down to 1 I think is pretty boring, but as soon as you can go up to more, like I think Myriad's a really cool mechanic and all that kind of stuff. I'd love to see more of that. However, it does not make Sled Dogs great because it's still number 9. Up to 2 Sled Dogs can take up a single ally slot. As an action, you can exhaust X Sled Dogs to move X times. And as an action, you can exhaust X Sled Dogs to fight. You get plus X fist for this attack. Instead of its standard damage, this attack deals X damage, which is, of course, the number of Sled Dogs you exhausted.
Yeah. I want this card to be good. But it's not. No, he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I can't believe he's coming out of the bathroom.
He's got the after poop zoomies. Yeah. Instead of walking around the box, he decided to hop over it. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I want this card to be good. It is not very good. It just costs too much in, and then when you get out, it's like a Cyclopean Hammer, maybe. It's more exciting than that because you never know if you actually have a Cyclopean Hammer or basic fight action.
It's true.
But I guess you get +1. You get +1.
You do get +1, yeah. So it's like a trench knife.
Yeah,
it's like a trench knife. Yeah, that costs 2 more.
Yeah, as we all know.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good. Probably one of the strongest level 0 cards you can get in the game.
Yeah.
I already know that there are people who love Sled Dogs. And I mean, honestly, like, I love playing Sled Dogs, like, once every 3 years, you know? And I've played it the one time since then, and I'm like, I think I'm good for the next 3 years. But there's a lot of people that, like, have high highs with Sled Dogs, and you might be wondering why it's so low on our list. And that's because there's also a lot of low lows that come with Sled Dogs. Like, you lose one of your Sled Dogs, and you're like, well, there goes my deck. Like, there goes my dream that I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, pretty much every time I take this card out of the binder, I'm like, this is gonna be so fucking cool. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm griefing Travis again, aren't I?
Yeah.
Like, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all try. It's gonna work 1 time out of 8, and it's gonna be
great that one time.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I've seen it happen actually with any time that someone's played Sled Dogs. It's so much setup for so little, like, kind of impact that at a certain point, you just exhaust them to move 4 times and then say, I've done that. And then everyone's like, we're proud of you. We won the scenario without you, but we're proud of you. Yeah.
Sometimes like, getting like 2 Sled Dogs can almost be good.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, like, Leo Anderson
Yeah.
or be playing lots of creature allies and want Rod of Animalism in your deck
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
But like 2 of them can be fine. Just getting to like shortcut every turn, that's pretty okay. With the addition of you can fight once at +2 for 2 damage that doesn't expend real resources.
Yeah.
Which can be okay if you're playing like, guns.
Guns are like a lot of like fight events, you know? Yeah, and I agree. Like, I think like the only person, like, you could play it in Charlie, but I think Charlie's already so resource starved for his allies.
Yeah, I mean, he does get to play with green cards 0 to 3 or
True.
whatever, 0 to 2, whatever it is.
But like,
which doesn't really matter because all the good ones are 0 and 1 anyway.
Yeah.
So.
But it's like with Leo Anderson, it's just really nice to have that baked in play for free.
Yeah, play for free and it's 2.
One less, yeah.
Like if this card costs 2, I think it would be almost good.
Yeah.
Like, not that it's like right now it's almost bad, but if it costs 1 less, it's almost good.
Yeah. I mean, then that's actually like a big step up.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big improvement.
Yeah. We skip over mediocre entirely.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Which is not where Trench Knife lives. That card's...
Trench Knife lives way down at the bottom, down in the pit.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to number 8 here, which is the Mysterious Raven, a 1-cost survivor ally creature. Soaks for 1 horror. As a lightning bolt, discard Mysterious Raven and take 1 horror. Discover a clue at your location.
Discovering a clue at lightning bolt can be very powerful. Having to take a horror for it, less so.
Yeah.
But you're red, and if you can't mitigate horror, then you've never met Justin's boyfriend before, have you?
It's true. Yeah. That's Pete Sylvester, by the way. He's kind of a dreamboat.
Kinda.
He's a hunk. He's a hunk of man. Yeah.
No.
I think a big thing with this one is that it's kind of just like outclassed by like everything else, right? Like the text is good, right? Discover, as you say, it's like 1 cost, and it's going to discover a clue in the future, right? But like, there's just so many like better things you can do in your ally slot, and in just as like a generic card in Survivor.
Yeah, like if you're playing like Will Yorick, because you can play things from your discard pile.
Yep.
Then this card gets better. It also gets very good in True Solo, where that 1 clue is going to be the only clue that's there, probably. And it also gets much better if you are playing the aforementioned Rod of Animalism deck, where you want to play like a lot of creature allies. Because then it taking up an ally slot kind of doesn't matter. It doesn't cost money anymore.
I also think that this card is actually going on to what we're going to be talking about like Charlie Kane a lot in this, because Charlie Kane's just like really good at this kind of stuff. This is really nice in Charlie Kane. It gives him +2 book for investigating, and then when you just like hit like a 7-shroud location, you're like, well, I'll just go Raven, go. You do
like
it for
the
me.
Time crunch that you inevitably hit at the end of the game.
Yeah, because you're Charlie Kane. You spent your first like half the game setting up. Yeah.
Spend all your time wasting your time playing assets. Those cards don't do anything. You don't need them.
Yeah.
They're really good. They're like probably the best ones.
Yeah. It is a nice effect, but it's just like a little bit weird. I think if we ever get like an investigator, it's gonna probably happen one day when they start doing a bunch of new ones. We're gonna get one that actually like synergizes with creatures, and I think that's gonna like really like this guy's probably gonna have like a home there, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the creature deck is almost there. We're like slightly. Probably like a good damage option away.
Yep.
From it being like kind of real.
Yeah, because I mean, like we have the stray cat we're gonna be talking about. We have the clue. We just need the damage one, and then for
like
sure.
There are like I mean the dogs all do damage, but
and so does Devil.
They're not great at it.
Yeah. But like a lightning bolt deal damage, I think would be like, as if this was like a an effect of like just like a. Yes, a 1 cost, 1 damage ally. As a lightning bolt, discard it and to take a damage, deal 2 damage to enemy at your location. That would be like a. That would be a juicy card.
It would be very strong.
Yeah. It would have to be like if Will Yorick could recur it, that's all. Like, damn Yorick, just recursion always makes things problems, but just make it green. that fits with green's color pie, right?
No. I mean, it could.
Anything. I mean, put it in yellow. They can do anything.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yellow does get to do everything.
Just call it like Lab Rat with a gun, you know,
Yeah.
and then it fits perfect.
Yeah, it has no moral compass, but it does have a gun.
Yeah. All right, number 7 is Familiar Spirit, a 1-cost creature asset. Soaks for 1 and 1. You have 1 additional arcane slot, which can only be used to hold a spell asset. As Brent and I were getting this list, this, like, I was saying that this card text is actually, like, really good. It's, like, one of those things that, this is, like, kind of like on a magnifying glass level. This is, like, what Mystics kind of want.
It's almost that good.
The only problem is that magnifying glass is in a hand slot when most Seekers don't care about their hand slot. And if this was, like, a card that you can put in your hand slot, it would go insane. Like, yeah.
If you are trying to play a deck that you like fills a lot of arcane slots, you can't actually buy an arcane slot on a permanent, but you can buy an extra ally slot, which turns this into a kind of extra arcane slot on a permanent. Not really, but almost. And arcane slots, well, they're not they're not like ally slots. It doesn't. One more of them doesn't, like, you know, to the moon or anything like that. But maybe you want one of them to hold on to a haste while you hold on to 2 other utility options.
Yeah. Or if, like, you're doing a janky, like, dragon pole thing and you just need to get, like, as much filled as possible.
Yeah, you're trying to see how much damage you can eat out of the game and play all of your spiritual resolves at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could do that. Is it going to be good? We don't ask that question here.
No.
No.
The only question we ask here is, what is the strongest creature card at ARKHAM?
Yeah,
that's all we're asking in this video. But yeah, this taking up the ally slot really kind of kills it a bit. Where, like, it's one of those things that I think a lot of decks actually would want to run it, but the problem is, like, they'd rather run, like, Arcane Initiate or David Renfield or one of the really good upgraded Mystic allies like Twyla or Diana, you know, like the really good ones when you level up.
Yeah, there's a couple of purple ones that get kind of nuts.
Yeah.
That don't work with this guy too well.
No. All right, number 6, we have Stray Cat. This is a 1-cost ally creature asset. Takes up the ally slot. Soaks for 1 damage. As a lightning bolt, discard Stray Cat. Automatically evade a non-elite enemy at your location.
Cue the... I wish they'd unify automatically evading spiel, but I think this one is actually sitting on the correct side of that line where it doesn't require a test, so you cannot get an elite enemy.
Yep.
Getting to evade an enemy at lightning bolt is kind of wild because lightning bolt speed means you can do it in between hunter enemies.
Oh yeah,
and the enemy's attacking phase.
Yeah.
So you can have a hunter enemy move into your location, chase the stray cat, and not hit anybody at all.
Yeah, which is
kind of have to be non-elite, but you know, whatever.
But most of the time, non-elite enemies are the ones that are going to hunt you. The elite enemies are going to be like usually the boss battle at the end of the scenario.
Yeah, they don't need to hunt you because you can't leave.
Yeah, you're locked in there with them.
Yeah,
or are they locked in there with you? It kind of looks at this that, like, going back to, like, looking at Mysterious Raven now, like, looking at all of these in, like, you know, like the same kind of space, I do think that Mysterious Raven probably could have also not dealt you the horror, and it would have been equal to this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so the ability to do the effects that they do at lightning bolt speed, like discovering a clue, that's whatever. Yellow can just do that.
Yeah.
Evading an enemy out of turn sequence, that's something that you can't normally do. Like, even green doesn't get to do that.
Yeah.
You can play cards to take actions outside of turn sequence and use those actions to evade, but you don't just get to evade.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is actually, like, probably one of the strongest sources of just, like, this kind of effect, right? Because just one takes up the ally slot, which is a contested sort of thing, but, like, a lightning bolt to just automatically evade a non-elite enemy is very powerful. Yeah, and this is a core set survivor card. But, like, it's, once again, like, Pete Sylvester came out right away. Pete Sylvester just, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, core set survivor's also, like, very binary. There's not really that many okay cards. They're either, like, pretty bad or pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what you got.
Yeah. The effects just, like, pretty powerful, and we put it up here. And I think at this point now, like, we're starting to, like, I mean, you know, like, looking at this now, I could actually put this over the number 5 too, depending on, like, how I'm feeling.
Yeah, it might, like, if I'm playing with this card, it probably doesn't get to stick around the whole way. Unless we're playing... Unless I'm going to have to face off against Azathoth.
Yeah.
And, like,
yeah.
there's some guys who I'd really rather just not be
Yeah,
right
and then
now.
just, like, get rid of them. Just
but
like,
they're also not elite, because why would they be?
I mean, there is 3 of them. That'd be
Yeah.
strange if they were
Yeah.
elite, yeah.
It would be strange.
Yeah.
They'd also have to, like, get victory or whatever, because... Yeah. Anyway.
All right, number...
Card's strong. Card's stronger than it reads.
Yeah. And I mean, I think at this point now, like while... I think, like, when we get to Stray Cat, we start getting to the cards that I think are, like, good to very good to great, depending on the situation.
The other ones are, like, if I'm playing them, my deck's trying to do something strange.
Yeah, yeah. Number 5 here, we got Miss Doyle and her 3 cats. So she soaks for 2 and 2, 3 costs, 1 experience. After she enters play, search your bonded cards for Hope, Zeal, and Augur. Randomly choose 1 to put into play and shuffle the other 2 into your deck. When she leaves play, find each of those assets, even if they are out of play, and remove them from the game. Do I know what they do off the top of my head? They
I don't
give
know
you...
which one is which.
Yeah.
But they're like fight with base 5, evade with base 5, and investigate with base 5, and you can discard them to automatically succeed.
And then shuffle...
And shuffle them into your deck, and then like put one from
the
your
graveyard
discard
into something
like that.
Something like
anyway.
that. Yeah. They basically just make you good at the skill that they're good at, and then you also have like an
Yeah.
auto success if you need to get that out.
They're really strong if you're playing somebody like Calvin, and you're like, what if number really big?
Yeah.
Or you're playing somebody like Preston, and you're like, what if number's always very small?
Yeah.
But sometimes very big.
Yeah. Or if you're like someone like Patrice, where you are like shuffling, you're going to be drawing from your deck, so you can play them multiple times. Or if you're someone like Charlie and they are allies that don't take up an ally slot. Like, that's really nice for Charlie as well.
Miss Doyle's an unexpected courage for him.
Yep. And like, she comes in, like, because she comes in with 2 allies, so you're basically getting like an unexpected courage and then like half an unexpected courage or overpower perception or manual decks.
Yeah, because the other one's like, when you're Charlie, you're number bad, but
Yeah.
like if you use a cat, you're number good.
Yeah. I mean, that's what cats do, right? They bring the world together.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, in some places they do. Maybe they also bring it apart. I don't know.
I thought they just like
They push things off
destroyed
stuff.
natural ecosystems.
They do,
whatever,
yeah.
'cause-
They're really good at killing birds. Yeah, they're
like,
really good
at
like
killing all kinds of
we
stuff.
look at everyone's like Russ is so cute, and it's like, but if Russ was outside, actually there was a time when we would let Russ out on a leash, and every time he found and killed something. Every time. The laziest cat I've seen in my entire life has like a 100% outside kill ratio, so we stopped taking him outside.
Yeah, which is like impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's insane. Cats are like, they're just so good. Miss Doyle is obviously she's in the top 5, so she's bringing the heat. But what is making her for me, like, I think a particularly amazing card is that she's just a little bit janky, and like she's not as like she's less like Empower Self, where if you get the wrong one it really sucks. Because you can kind of just make use of the one you have. It's a lot different to get like a 5 on a test versus +2 on a test.
Yeah, play this in a Patrice deck with Empower Selves, test it 7, let's go. Does that change anything? Not really.
I mean, maybe. Once again, we're not here to ask that question. No. We're just dreaming. But it's one of those things that like it's not as reliable as some of the other things that we're going to be getting into in the top here.
If you got to choose which cat you put into your hand instead of randomly, then probably very good.
Yeah. All right. On to number 4, which is going to be Guard Dog 2. 3 costs, soaks for 4 and 2. As a lightning bolt, exhaust Guard Dog, engage an enemy at your location. That enemy attacks you. As a reaction, when an enemy attack deals damage and or horror to Guard Dog, deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy. We put Guard Dog 2 lower than Guard Dog 0. Astute viewers might know that we've noticed that we did not put Guard Dog 0 here yet. And that's because Bryn made a good point when we were doing this, which was just that, like, while Guard Dog 2 is a very powerful effect, being able to, like, engage an enemy for free to then, you know, deal damage to that enemy, kill 1 health enemies for, like, nothing, like Whippoorwills, it does cost 2 experience, and that is actually, like, a notable knock against some cards when the level 0 version is actually still very serviceable.
Yeah, because, like, sure, 2 experience might not be, like, that big of a deal, because by the end of the campaign, you've probably got, like, you know, 50 XP in your deck these days. That's how campaigns go. But during the first like 2 scenarios, 2 XP is a lot. And that's where you're trying to make your deck work. Which means that this guy kind of has to be, like, either you're Daniela, and you're like, yeah, I would like to be attacked now, please. Or maybe, I don't know, yeah, I don't even know who else would want it that bad.
And Daniela can't even play the upgraded version.
No, she needs somebody to
she
give
needs
it
She needs
to
good
her,
old...
which is...
yeah, that's who played in Carson, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's good in Carson. Like, 4 is almost as much health as he has.
Yeah.
But yeah, this just means that this one kind of has to, by its nature, be a luxury upgrade.
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing that happens when you've got XP that you don't need for your deck anymore.
And it's one of those things, too, that just, as you were saying, like, there's not many people that, like, need this upgrade. It's like, it's kind of just like it's just to improve a card that you're already playing, but you're going to win more if you actually upgrade your other cards first.
Yeah, like, it can be good. Part of my reason for also rating this lower is that it has the wrong artwork.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. But, yeah, there's not a lot of people who can play this and also want to be attacked. Most of them actually can't.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about Guard Dog himself when we get to his level 0 version coming up. Which is, right? Not now. First, we're going to go to Devil. This is a 1-cost, 2 experienced, ally creature cursed. Soaks for 3 damage. Force, when your turn begins, move 1 damage from your Investigator to Devil, and when Devil is defeated, deal 2 damage each enemy and Investigator at your location. Admittedly, this is kind of like some hypothetical ranking, because we actually haven't played or seen Devil get played, right? But card seems pretty good.
I would like to live deliciously.
Me too. Me too.
Given that option.
Yes.
So.
Yes. If Satan comes up and says, "Would you like to do something?" Just always say yes. It's like improv rules. Just say yes and.
Yeah. Yes and.
Yeah.
Who do I need to kill?
Yeah.
Can it be somebody I don't like?
And Satan's like.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna just spin the wheel.
Yeah. Sign the deal, and
we'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll hammer out all the logistics after that.
No, this guy does look like he soaks 3, but he does in fact only soak 2, as you must always be an Investigator at your location. So you're gonna eat that 2 damage when he dies, and he will die. He will die. It's going to happen. Yeah. If you run this out and then you never take damage throughout the entire scenario, like, amazing. How did you do that? Yeah.
And I mean, like, realistically, while this guy is also dealing that damage to, to you, you're also a survivor. So, like, copy paste what Bryn said earlier.
Like, you can mitigate that pretty easily.
Yeah. You just need to have a nice coat. You need to have bandages, which stops the devil from exploding. And then, like, you add in the level of recursion that this guy can, like, the power of recursion that this guy can bring. If you can play him multiple times. Oh, yeah. With, like, Will York, with Chance Encounter, with Tommy Muldoon's, like, shuffling him into your deck. Because it's like an additional effect when he is defeated. It's not a replacement effect, so you still get to shuffle him in with Tommy. So I'm buying high on this guy. I think this guy's going to be pretty legit, and I also think that he's going to be on the jankier side. But I think realistically, actually, like, harsh news for the creature lovers here. I think all the creatures are kind of on the jankier side, except for like the top 2.
We got like Guard Dog. Guard Dog is not janky, although that being said, I've seen Travis do some very janky things with it.
Yep. I'll never forget.
This guy fights for 7?
Yeah, I'll never forget the Travis's his plan for victory was just Guard Dog.
It's a viable plan.
Yeah.
And if you are playing cards like Calling in Favors, you can probably almost reliably use Guard Dog as your extra damage option.
Yeah.
Almost.
Speaking of Devil, Calling in Favors seems like a great little thing. This guy heals 2 damage off of you. You call in Favors for something else. I think that actually, I think there's some stuff there. I think.
Yeah, he's like spicy enough.
Yeah. Just that, like, you could, it's just like, hello, Satan?
Yeah, like most goat dishes.
Yeah. You get the other Satan? Whoo, now we're talking. I'm curious. All right. Our number 2 card here is level 0 Guard Dog. Soaks for 3 and 1, costs 3. When an enemy attack deals damage to Guard Dog, deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy.
He just does so much for a level 0 card.
Yep.
Like, upgrading him obviously does make him better, but if I've got a level 0 Guard Dog in my deck through to the end of the campaign, I'm not super upset about that. I probably have paid for a Charisma or something, so I've got my ally slot anyway.
Yep. Or just like guns, right? Like, like if you're like a 5-fist investigator, like say for example our good friend Mark Harrigan, you actually don't even need to like upgrade your guard dogs. You can just make everything else in your deck better, and then just play guard dogs.
Draws you 3 cards because he takes damage 3 times.
Yeah,
and he kills a bunch of acolytes or whatever for you.
And it's just like value.
You know?
And then again, as we said, like in scenarios 6, 7, and 8, you're going to upgrade your guard dog to guard dog 2. However, we crunched the math. 5 out of 8 is higher than 3 out of 8. So guard dog 0 beat guard dog 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. We tried to just be legit about it.
It's just math.
Yeah, just math.
It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
It's a little personal.
It's because of the art, right?
It's because of the art. It's because of the art, yeah.
All right. On to our number 1 here, which is Ravenous Myconid Sentient Strain. 2 cost, 4 experience. Notably, this is actually the only creature Myconid in the upgrades. It's a monster and a flora for the other 2. This is the only creature, so it's the only one that made the cut. As a lightning bolt, search your bonded cards for uncanny growth and add it to your hand. Again, because I said this like 24 minutes ago, uncanny growth is the one where you investigate what you succeed by is the amount of growth you put on. As a reaction, when an investigator draws a non-weakness treachery card, if their location shroud is equal to or less than Ravenous Myconid's growth, cancel that treachery's effects and discard it. Remove all growth from Ravenous Myconid.
Yeah, it just seems kind of good. It's like how many water protections these days. It's tough to gauge because it depends when you draw it and what scenario you're playing.
Yeah, and realistically,
it's at least one.
And like if you're as a group together, it's gonna probably be firing off. If you're building a deck right, where you're just like dummy, no think, book big, you're gonna get this like every turn.
Yes, sir.
Which is it seems very powerful. It seems very powerful. I know this was one that people thought would see a taboo. I don't think it would, just because like if you do it like multiple times, you're probably it's kind of like you have yourself to blame, you know? Like if you always take the Cyclopean Hammer, maybe the problem is you. Maybe you need to look inward and be like, why am I always swinging the hammer when I could try something else instead?
Yeah. I mean, Fantasy Flight could do something about that, but
just forbidden it.
You know, yeah, it would be funny if there was a second card that wasn't green.
I know, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. What a country.
Yeah, what a country. I was playing with. I mean, we're not talking about double or nothing here, but the card is like really fun to play with, and I kind of wish it would come back for a bit to see. But I think this card is a very powerful card, and it's a creature, and I think it's the strongest creature we have here on the list, just in terms of its ceiling, right? Like its ceiling is a ward of protection every turn, which is like 1 less action the game takes against you, which is very good.
Right? Like how many Ancient Evils does this need to catch before this is like probably the best ally or not even ally, the best card you've played this scenario?
If it does,
because if it's 1, it's like still pretty good.
Yeah, if it's 2, like we're really 2. Good. If you get 3, it's like you've
Or alternatively, like blocking a treachery card, like
Frozen in Fear is huge. Yeah, like
Frozen in Fear can be very difficult.
An ill-timed Rotting Remains. Yeah, it's like even though like Ancient Evils is like the easy one to like default to.
Yeah, it is because it's the easiest one to break down what it's actually worth. You know?
Yeah, but like this can just like stop the worst thing every turn. Yeah,
probably just about. Like there might be some times when it doesn't do that. Because, you know, maybe you're investigating a high shroud location and you succeed by 1.
Yeah, or 0, yeah. Maybe you're on like a 5 shroud location and you only have 3 on it.
Yeah.
But like, that's okay because you'll still survive. Yeah. You'll just do it next turn, yeah. But those are the creatures of Arkham Horror ranked by us. Travis is going to be back for next week's list video. Maybe. I mean, we're playing Hemlock Vale next week, so finally that might be like what we do, or there might just be a list video with me saying I'm Justin and here is my favorite cards that look like food for my Guy Fieri deck that I'm building, you know? Like,
I'm looking forward to it.
it's going to happen one
to
day. It's going to happen one day. So, but we'll see you guys all very soon. Thanks for joining us. Huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. In the meantime, have a good one. And as always, the GGs.